Welcome back to the GSL Up and Down matches. I am Wolf, and with me is Caldor, and up next we have Vines against Polt. And the map is going to be dual-sided. Here are our current results.
We have Vines up 2-0. He is leading the group right now. Suishin is second with 2-1. Ryang and Polt tied on 1-1. And Jakji is out of the competition. We will definitely not see him again today. Because, well, he only has a match left against Vines, and this is not really going to matter. Shouldn't matter.
Nope. Well, we talked about it yesterday. The map dual site has a very low win rate for Protoss against Terran. It's very unfortunate that Vines has to play against Polt on this map. But it's, you know, yesterday we saw Puzzle actually win on this map with a very aggressive build. You may actually see Vines pull something off as well here. It's just very difficult to hold an expansion as a Protoss on this map, and almost impossible to take a third base.
We could see some really crazy tie situations later on, by the way, if Vines is going to lose this and Alive loses to Ryang, and it would be getting like really interesting. We could actually see all of these players. Let me have a think about it. No, we couldn't see all of them at 2-2. But yeah, there could be a tie for the second place.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. We're going to go right into this game without talking anymore. Vines versus Polt on dual site here at the GSL Up and Down matches with Caldor and Wolf.
It's another Protoss versus Terran on dual side, and the Protoss player in orange color starting to the left is none other than
Empire Venus.
Just picked up recently by the Empire team. A lot of the former OGS members have found a new home. We have MVP with a pickup, and Empire obviously was able to get Vines into the roster.
Yep.
MVP with Lure, in case you didn't know. And to the right side of the map, in the teal, we have the one and only GSL.
GSL Port.
Dual side is definitely a map that Terran does not is quite comfortable on against Protoss. There we have Polt, sexy as usual.
Yeah, man, he is so sexy. I don't even have any comments to make on his hairstyle. You know, like his hairstyle is just it's Polt style, all right? I like Polt, man. He's always just been one of my favorite players. I was like the only person in the entire crowd at the Super Tournament who was cheering. I remember I actually sat pretty close to Tastosis' casting booth for the Super Tournament Finals, and I was cheering so loudly that even with everything else going on and their headsets, they could hear me, and they made jokes about it. At least they told me afterwards they did. I don't know if they like actually did or not, but
So you pulled a fanboy?
I was excited to see him beat MMA. I was a big fan of his play, and it was like I want him to finally have his moment. And yeah, I pulled a fanboy that day.
He's definitely a great player, and well, right now he's 1-1. We have Vines up 2 games, so if Vines wins, as mentioned before, he will be in Code S. And this is going to be a very interesting match. We have some scouting going on at this point.
May escape, actually. Well, it's going to escape, but it did not see the command center. He knows it's there, though.
There's no gas, and therefore the command center is kind of inevitable.
Makes a Zealot, which he will be able to use to scout if he wants to with the Stalker. And we'll probably see Vines go for a 1-gate expand here. Tough map to hold and expand on against any type of, basically any type of different build than we see from Polt. So since it's Polt's going for 1-rax expand, he's going to know that even though it's a wide open natural, he can still very easily expand to it.
There's still one thing I want to point out again. We mentioned it earlier, but I guess that a few more people tuned in by now. Polt just came back from MLG yesterday.
Yep.
And therefore he might still be a little bit jet-lagged, might still be a little bit tired. Vines was in Korea for the entire time and could prepare for these matches in particular. So that might give him a bit of an edge here. And Polt follows his strategy up with a double barracks. Well, we don't have the Nexus for Vines just yet, but he's getting the 400 minerals right now. The Stalker is on his way, and here comes the Nexus for Vines, who will probably start with
There's no bunker, actually, so Vines could do some damage here. Probably not going to do a lot, but This is a bit of a corner being cut from Polt. And he's going to actually lose just a few Marines, though. But in general, this is not too terrible. A good trade for Vines, though, for sure.
Yeah, he killed an SCV as well. He lost his Zealot and the Probe.
And the Command Center remains on the high ground. It would have been there regardless. He did want to make that orbital first, but he has to now consider what could happen next, because right now Polt has no scouting information. He's just now sending his SCV over to see the Nexus. If he didn't see that, he would want to bunker immediately. I like that he actually
two Stalkers.
I like that he's cutting the corners, man. That's actually really cool to see, because even if with the corners cut, it was an okay trade for him. The units lost actually the same 150, 150, and he didn't make the bunker. He didn't actually waste those minerals.
But the thing is that at this point, Polt can't move the command center on the low ground because Vines has 2 Stalkers in position and he can kite the Marines. So Polt has to wait a little bit longer. He has to get more Marines before he can finally move down the ramp. And the Nexus is going to complete for Vines, who now has also the the thingy where you get the observers, the
robotics.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
But Polt he could potentially move down here now that he has this many Marines. He's going to go ahead and move the command center. He spots the Stalkers. Doesn't feel comfortable moving down, but he in fact could. And he's just going to move his command center only down now and start to build SCVs.
There comes the Marauder.
There's the Marauder, yeah, he's going to feel really comfortable now.
Yeah, with the Marauder, he's like, oh, okay, I guess I need to head back now. But he still tries to get one of the Marines. Does a bit of damage here. Well done. Realized, okay, there's no concussive shell.
Now, the reason, by the way, for some newer players as to why the 2 Stalkers versus that many Marines is something that he'd be scared of is because the Marines are slower than Stalkers and the Stalkers outrange them by 1. But the Marauder, however, does have the same range as the Stalker, so if he wants to hit a Marine, he's going to take a Marauder shot.
The Robo Bay is already on its way.
He's doing very fast here.
He wants to hit a timing here, and this could actually be very dangerous for Polt, because let's face it, he's just now getting his factory. He will start the starport, but as soon as the starport is in play, what he's going to do first is just build a few medivacs, and he might not be ready for a Colossus attack.
Yeah, unless he scouts it, he definitely will. You're right, he's going to make medivacs instead of Vikings. Starport and reactor on the way right now, and Polt has no information. He's got a great scout earlier, but he has not been able to come back in and see the robotic support bay. I don't think he's going to burn a scan either. He's just going to kind of play this one reactionary. He's making a second bunker right now. That is natural. Not cutting corners earlier on, or cutting corners earlier on, but now not cutting corners towards the mid-stage here.
Vines did, though. He didn't get any additional units. He just was relying on the initial 2 Stalkers that he had, and then started immediately going for the robotics bay. So at this point, he's already starting with his upgrade for extended thermal lance. Okay.
You guys will never know like what we're talking about or laughing about. We're just gonna keep it a secret, but
that was so weird. I was like, what is happening?
I'm like, are ghosts real? I'm not sure, Caldor. That was really weird, man.
I was like, what is going on?
Okay, so he is continuing medevac production, as you mentioned, since he has not scouted the Colossi yet, and he's salvaging one of his bunkers. If we see a 2 Colossus with ranged timing attack from Vines, Polt may really struggle to hold that. I mean, in fact, he definitely will if we see that.
Oh, he stims here. Why exactly did he just stim? Is he really trying to catch the Stalker that was so really, far behind?
That was really weird. But, I mean, it ensures that he definitely gets the Watchtower, I guess, for a second. And with that, he was able to scan and kill the Observer as well.
We have 2 Colossi. He's getting the 3rd now, and if he moves out and warps in gateway, there they are, the gateway units, the Stalkers. Yeah, but if he moves out at this point, then Polt will have a problem.
Yeah, he definitely will. I mean, he's rallying medevacs here. He's actually going to go for an attack. He's going to find himself caught. There's already forward pylons up, so if Vines wins this initial engagement, he's definitely going to be able to counterattack and take the game.
If he moves out to the right, though, and Polt starts to run in and takes down the Nexus, that might change things.
Yeah, that definitely
base trade scenario is definitely something where Vines will come out at. He scans ahead, he's moving in, and oh, this is so bad for Vines.
Yeah, so unlucky for Vines, and he's going to get the Nexus, but all of the units will go down as a result. A missed micro on the Colossus. He may lose 1 Colossus as well. No, the Colossus lives, but the Nexus does not.
The expansion is gone. One of the Colossi nearly dead, and I'm amazed by Polt's unit control. As soon as he realized, okay, there's a Colossus, he's like, well, I am going to kill the Nexus anyways, but I can send a small troop to the right and chase down the Colossus. That was really well done. Split decision, and it definitely paid off. Even though he didn't kill it, it's now down to like 28 points.
Yeah, this is going to be something scary.
Vines
for
is
Polt,
all in
though.
here.
He is all in, but Polt has no defense. In a base trade, though, Polt will have the advantage. He's already going for the drop.
He's dropping the main base, and here comes the attack by Vines. He is supply blocked, and he's moving in right now. He can't even warp in additional units in his main base now to defend against the drop. This is horrible. He cannot defend against this drop. He doesn't have any units here.
One Colossus is there, but it's going to get taken out pretty quick.
Base trade scenario going on, and Vines, he needs to send out a few probes in order to build buildings up here at the top right. Polt is now losing all his harvesters. Vines is moving back. This is just so close. Army supply 83 for Polt, 56 for Vines. The Vikings are out trying to take charge of the situation. They're attacking the Colossi. Here come the SCVs, the Marauders, and Polt is about to take the game.
He just does it, man. He holds, and GG. This game changing in just seconds after that initial engagement.
Vines very unlucky. He moves out, and this is exactly the timing that Polt chooses to attack from different paths. Snipes the Nexus, and well, huge problem here.
Yeah, a very big problem. He actually could have taken this game if he had just been a little bit more map aware of where Polt was during that moment. And it was an unlucky loss. Dual site can be that way though, and Polt just didn't cut. He didn't cut corners in the end of that game, that's for sure. He cut some in the beginning, but in the end, great control, great decision making. He had the defense set up back at home. He had Vikings out already. And to go for the base trade, I think, was a poor choice for Suho. But he kind of got, I mean, not for Suho, but for Vines. He kind of got pushed into it. He had no choice.
This puts us into a funny situation. If the next game is going to be Suho Shin against Ryung. If Ryung takes the next game, then we will have a 4-way tie.
Yeah.
So that will be really a really interesting scenario. And yeah, suddenly all the games count again. So this is going to be very interesting. If Suho Shin takes it, though, then he's in Code S. Once again, Suho Shin, if he takes the next game, he's in Code S.
And I think he might do it, man. I mean, he has been looking so strong ZVT. This next map is going to be on Antigua. I don't think we're going to see that same aggression. This is something you and I both discussed. We have seen this build on this map before. It seems to be the least effective here, like you said, because the siege tank on the high ground. There's a huge amount of space towards where the wall is usually made. The wall is usually not actually made at the top of the ramp. It's made beyond that ramp, so there's a lot of space for the units to take damage before they even get close to that wall.
At this point, you usually don't even have a wall. You have a couple of bunkers that they are relying on. But yeah, I'm definitely sure that Ryung is going to prepare. He has seen the games. He has seen the games that Suho Shin played so far, and he must be aware that there is the potential of another roach baneling attack. So we'll find out in a few seconds as soon as the game starts. And this situation in the group is really getting a little bit crazy here.
Yeah, it is. Like you said, we could potentially have a 4-way tie. And then the next two games will kind of help even things out. Vines versus Jockey and Polt versus Ryung will sort of sort out the situation. As far as I know, with this format, there will be no tiebreakers because it's based on who beats who. So at the end of the 10 games, even if we had a 4-way tie before that, some of the ties will be decided based because they'd all played against each other. So I think there's no way for us to have a tiebreaker, if I'm not mistaken, even when all the 10 games are done. But we have all the stats here. We'll be guiding you guys through it. This may not happen anyways because Suho may just take this game against Ryung.
I can just tell you how it is. If Suho Shin loses and we have a 4-way tie, the game between Polt and Ryung will decide one of the players who will advance. And then it kind of depends on the...
Who beat who.
Who beat who, yeah. Exactly.
All right, here we go. Suho looking great in Zerg versus Terran here. Can he take out a really tough opponent in Ryung? The GSL up and down matches with Caldor and Wolf. Let's find out right now.